go time.
The boys are back. That's right, Florida Man Sports is here with another exciting episode. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. This is Florida Man Sports.
Friends and family, before Johnny Cinco gets us started, we're not oblivious to it, what's going on in Central Texas. Thank you for tuning in for the laughs. Thank you for allowing us to be a bunch of clowns during this episode. We're going to get to that. But as always, our thoughts and prayers are out with Texas, Central Texas. And as always, if you can donate, please donate. Thoughts and prayers aren't enough, but let's start somewhere. Any thoughts on that, Johnny?
Yeah, thoughts and prayers are always welcome, but please donate. Red Cross or any organization that's going to go ahead and help the families in need in Central Texas, please go ahead and do so. So, of course, we wanted to go ahead and discuss that first. So let's get to it.
Let's rock and roll.
Welcome, Florida Man Sports.
Let's go.
Now, today's episode, normally, you know us, we're live Fridays, 8 o'clock, but your boy over here, yeah. Don't even try to come over here. Got some movie theater tickets he wasn't aware of.
It's a really funny story.
Date night with
but I'm not going to share it, but it's a funny story.
I think they're re-releasing Spice World. That's what it is. You're a big fan of
How does he know the name of the movie?
Big fan of Sporty Spice. So,
whatever. Let's go.
Couldn't miss it. So we're recording on Thursday, but of course it's available for you guys.
Still at Friday, 8 p.m. Streaming in all major platforms.
So we're going to go ahead and discuss, of course, like we always do, your Florida football teams, starting with the Miami Dolphins. And the Miami Dolphins, Cris, pulled off a move this week that we were kind of expecting, but we weren't. We knew Ramsey was going to be moved. We knew that they were flirting with the Steelers with Smith earlier. And then all of a sudden now they trade Ramsey and Smith to the Pittsburgh Steelers, which surprised some people, especially what they got in return. The bigger surprise is that, Darren Waller comes out of retirement and he's no longer singing terrible hip hop. He's going to go ahead and say that he's going to go and play tight end position again for the Miami Dolphins. So what do you think about everything that transpired over the last week with Miami?
I think first you kind of got to go backwards a little bit, Johnny. And, can I get a soapbox for a minute? I need a soapbox. Okay. The Dolphins had a phenomenal offseason considering the cap situation. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
They had a pretty decent draft. Is that fair to say?
They did the most with less.
Right. And then you lay this egg. This is a C-, man. It's lay an egg. C-. Listen, last week you had an opportunity, McDaniels, to watch Florida Man Sports. I gave you the trade that you needed to make to get a tight end. I told Johnny Cinco, I said, the tight end position, it's questionable. We went back and forth. You said, oh, no, he just needs to stop crying. No, something is going to happen. And it did. Now, Smith gets his money. So, because Pittsburgh's going to pay him his money. And you essentially traded for a guy that was already a Miami player just a few years ago, all because you don't want to pay $20 million. I feel like Pittsburgh won the trade. And if Pittsburgh won the trade, it's not good for Miami. That's just the bottom line. That's my take on it.
Whenever you're in a situation to where you need to trade someone because of money, you're not winning that trade.
Yeah, but you can also break even, Johnny. You don't have to take a loss like you did right now. It's a lot. Who's the cornerback? Who is the cornerback for Miami?
Right now with Fitzpatrick?
Storm Duck is the cornerback. 24 tackles last year. He's your cornerback right now. That could change, but that's your starting corner.
Okay. Fitzpatrick, you can do safety in the corner. Fitzpatrick is not a scrub. Fitzpatrick is a key piece who's familiar with the offense. It's not bad. You're making it seem like it's the worst thing ever. With Smith was a big surprise that they got rid of him, but the guy was obviously stuck on he wanting more money based off of he performed really well. He was really worked well in that offense. When Hill was injured for a little bit, when Waddle was injured for a little bit, he really stepped up toward, especially in the later part of the year. But you're not going to go ahead and get more money based off a couple games, especially Miami's not in the situation to go ahead and do so because they were in a better situation financially to do so. They weren't in position to do. They spent a lot of money on key players, Hill, Waddle.
That's my point, Johnny. Where you're like, oh, they're not going to get the better when it's a captain. Well, guess what? Pittsburgh obviously found value in Smith because they're paying him more money, which means that Smith was a commodity to some degree. Call it whatever you want. He was a commodity. And all you could get out of it was a basically a 2-for-1 deal because your boy Warren, what was Warren? Did I get it right this time?
Waller, no?
Wallen, thank you. Wallen is TBD. Waller. Yeah, he's TBD. He's been out of the league. He's retired. He quit while the game was going on. He hasn't been a Pro Bowler since 5 years. And this is the person that's going to protect Tua. He's going to get rid of the ball for quick passes. Come on, man.
I'm aware that
you had a great summer, Miami. Go ahead. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I'm aware that Waller isn't Gronk. He's not that. There was a time where he was a top tight end.
Waller's not Waller, Johnny. Yeah. Waller's not Waller. What don't you understand?
I understand that. The point is that they got him for nothing, got him for peanuts. So they're going to give him a shot. I'm concerned. I don't personally think it's going to work, Chris, because of the fact that Waller needs to be coached hard. You know, his production comes from hard coaches, from a Gruden type coach like he had with the Raiders. You know, once Daniels came in play, he went to the Giants, which is the abyss. It's like it didn't work out for him. So is McDaniels the guy? I don't know. I mean, Asante Samuels, the former Patriot great, was quoted as clowning on the whole organization, starting with McDaniels, that he's a pushover, that the Miami Dolphins are run like a little league organization.
I don't care.
So I mean,
I'm not worried about those comments.
Miami was pursuing his son Asante Samuels Jr. in that corner position you're referencing. He was pursuing him, and it's just talking about the fact that it's known. I would brush it off, Chris, but the defensive coordinator left Miami for Philadelphia before last season because of the fact that he's saying these players are more interested in South Beach than the game plan.
Yeah, but ultimately, Johnny, it's about wins and losses, and you went 8-9 last year with all the injuries that you had. It can't be that bad. It can't be that bad, is all I'm saying.
I'm not saying it's like anything else. Sometimes it's the truth. You know,
it's somewhere in between. I was about to say Samuels could be upset that he didn't like the money his son was getting, and then he badmouthed the dog. You never know. I'm just speculating. I'm just saying you never really know the whole story.
I'm not saying that, but there's a lot of rumors. In fact, and we talked about that McDaniels, that this is make or break year.
Yeah,
but you better show up. It's not even you better win a playoff game. If you don't make the playoffs and win a playoff game, McDaniels, you're done.
I'm gonna get off the soapbox here, but I just, again, I don't understand why we have to disagree on something so simple. I'm just disappointed in the trade, considering the offseason that Miami had. It's almost like you took a step backwards. And the last thing I want to say is you kind of said something right now, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, where you were like, oh, we're going to see if he can do what he needs to do. That's not what you want from your tight end one. Let's see if he can do it. No NFL organization, and that's what you're saying, come on, man. Nobody wants to do that with their tight end.
If this, of course, in a fantasy world that Chris lives in, to where like everything is roses, everything works out perfectly.
It does.
Here you have a former Pro Bowl tight end. So
4 years ago,
what are you doing? Former isn't expired.
You act like it was last year.
Okay,
give me a break.
A former Pro Bowl tight end.
I'm off my soapbox.
So they're giving him a shot.
All right.
I'm not saying it's going to work out, because I think this guy does need to be coached hard by a hard-nosed coach. And McDaniels isn't a hard-nosed coach. He's a very laid-back, chill, like very player-friendly.
He's comedic. He likes to have fun.
I get that, but you can do that when you win. And if you don't win, then it's like nobody wants to hear that you're best buddies with your teammates. You want to go ahead and make sure to hold them accountable, and that's the type of coach he needs. So I don't honestly think that Waller is going to work in Miami, but it's fine. Smith didn't stick around because he wanted more money. Miami wasn't going to pay him money. They could have kept him and kept him disgruntled. I don't know if he's going to hold out. I don't know the situation, because we don't.
I told you that wouldn't work out. You watch Florida Man Sports, that's what I said 2 weeks ago.
Stop acting like this is the worst move of all time. Ramsey
for the offseason, it is. It's C-. I stand by my grade.
It's not. I was concerned on how they're going to replace Smith. Okay, they got Waller. Let's see what he can do. So you're telling me fantasy-wise, which we're going to wait for a fantasy show. It's going to be awesome. Outstanding here. Waller's not even going to get drafted.
You're going to have to wait and see.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
You're going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait and see.
Bunch of nonsense. So what do you think about Hill? Is Hill going to, now in this situation here?
No, listen, I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of people are still thinking about that, talking about that. At the end of the day, I think that finally you and I can agree with this.
Okay.
Hopefully. I think that Dolphins are wait and see. If they start winning games, they're going to ride with him. If they lose, they get hurt, God forbid, they're going to get rid of him midseason. That's my take. Do you agree?
That's exactly what I've been saying the last 5 episodes. So yes, it's just wait and see with Hill. And
if they win, to keep him, they're rolling him.
It's this season. But I'm telling you the same thing I mentioned before. If Miami doesn't work out and McDaniels is gone, now it becomes a ticking time bomb on Tua. Like what's going to happen with Tua? That's a whole different story.
Absolutely.
Because Tua's tied to McDaniels. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
Moving forward on that. But of course, you want to hate on Miami. Let's go ahead and move to a little to the the west of Florida here. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Chris. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The biggest question people have had is talking about that Baker Mayfield had his best year offensively under Cohen. Cohen left to your second favorite team, the Jacksonville Jaguars there. Some will say maybe your first. Is that accurate?
This is Florida Man Sports. I love all three.
Okay. Well, what's your team?
I love all three.
Okay, but still, it's
I got back tattoos of all three.
Fucking fun. But they're saying that what the replacement here for Cohen, offensive coordinator, can he actually replicate or improve upon Baker? Baker had his best year. Is it possible for them to go ahead and improve offensively with a whole new offensive system?
Florida Man Sports streaming on all major platforms. I'm happy that you use the word replicate or improve, and you use replicate because we don't need him to improve necessarily. If he can replicate it, I like that word. If he can do something similar, that's really all that we're looking for here, Johnny. To your point, 2024, 4,500 passing yards, 41 touchdowns, 71% completion, a juggernaut on offense. So it's a fair question. Can we do it again? And I don't know, Johnny, that this is all going to fall on the coach. So in other words, if they don't do as good, is it all going to be his fault? No, I don't think so.
It's not.
No. Let me be clear, and this is how you know that I'm.
You get the praise.
This is how you know. Too, this is how you know that I'm fair. I'm fair and balanced in my commentating here. You ready? Baker Mayfield's success is with Tampa, not with Cleveland, not with the Rams, not with the Panthers in those stints. In other words, I like Baker Mayfield a lot. I'm very happy that he's had back-to-back good seasons. But you know what? He's also interception prone. Don't think that he's not. Don't think that he can't throw 13, 14, 15 interceptions in a season. It can happen. It can very well happen. Yeah. So that it's going to be the dynamic between coach, offensive coach, and quarterback that I want to see. But again, to just finalize your question here, and my point is, let's just do the same. Let's get over 4,000 passing yards. Let's get over 30, 35 touchdowns, and that's going to be a very good season. I would consider that a successful season for the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Can he match it or exceed it, or is he?
Of course, if we had Johnny, we had fairy dust. Oh, yes, he's going to exceed it, and I want him to do more. Listen, I would take 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. Who would not take 4,000 plus and 30 plus touchdowns in a season? Who wouldn't?
Here's the thing.
I get it. And that would be considered success. Yes or no? Would that be considered a success? It would. So that, to me, you're asking a question of what's the measurement of success. That is the measurement. It is.
You have to exceed.
100%. You have to exceed. See, this is exceed.
Josh Grizzard has the helm right now, so he's holding things down here in Tampa offensively. So you have right now Baker. It's coming off his best year. He has the best offense he's ever had in his career. And they went all in. He has 85, 100 receivers in the receiver room. So it's something ridiculous. They draft their first round.
Let's see if you listen. So let's see if you listen to me.
Hold on, sir. If you're going to go ahead and have if the offensive line stays healthy, this guy has the team to actually get 5,000 yards this year.
Say that again.
If the offensive line stays healthy.
Stop right there.
Okay.
I said this about 3 weeks ago when we had our draft episode, and I said I'm a little disappointed we didn't address the offensive line.
Really? I mentioned 75. Okay. I mentioned it.
No.
The draft was horrible.
And now talking about the offensive line, this is what I mean, Johnny. When you're talking about can he replicate? Wirfs is out now for the beginning of the first 2-3 weeks of the season.
Yes.
Surgery, injured. This is exactly what I was talking about 3-4 weeks ago, folks. We didn't address the offensive line. He's trying to say that, Grizzard is going to have a better season. No, if you can have 4,000 plus yards the way that we're already starting and 30 plus touchdowns, that's good on the coach and it's good on Mayfield.
Okay, understand something with Tampa.
How much clearer can I get?
I expect Baker to get 4,000 yards. I think he can get 5,000 yards. Why do I think this? Because I expect if the offensive line can hold, and I expect Tampa, because they didn't address much of anything on their defense. They were not a high scoring defense last year, so they didn't really address a couple of things that I wanted them to address. They said, is draft more receivers. So Baker has all the weapons that he has there, so he can do these things because they're going to be playing from behind most of the games. So they're going to have to go and pass a lot more. So he has the capacity and he has everything set up in place with going ahead and possibly achieving the 5,000 yard threshold, that reaching that benchmark. Yes, I feel bad for the guy because essentially every year of his career, he's at a new offensive coordinator. Every single year, it's always something different. And still, even with that kid still performs. So it's interesting. If, unfortunately for him, he was drafted by the abyss that is known as the Cleveland Browns. And it started there. Then obviously the travel to Carolina. He found his way home here to Tampa. But it's unfortunate, still a new offensive coordinator. And even with that, he's performing. So to sit here and say that Josh is going to go ahead and that's not possible. That if it's
I didn't say that it's not possible. The question was, to replicate was the question, literally the question, or do more. And I said, I think if he just replicates, he's fine.
No.
And then I added that I would be okay with 4,000 plus passing yards and 30 plus touchdowns.
Okay.
I stand by that.
You say
absolutely,
it like so nonchalant. You'll be okay with who
this is the NFL, folks. It's about being healthy. It's about being healthy and getting to the playoffs. Bottom line. Period.
Injuries
and 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns helps.
Injuries are a part of football. You say 4,000, 30 touchdowns, like that's like the norm. That's not the norm. I know that the football has changed, so it's kind of like 4,000. You should be an elite quarterback. Should be reaching 4,000 yards. Should be doing those things.
Yeah.
Baker obviously needs to go ahead and lower those interceptions. 30 touchdowns is not a big deal. I think he can reach
30 plus.
I think he can reach 5,000 yards because they're going to be playing from behind because the Tampa didn't really go ahead and address those issues on defense. Teams are going to be scoring on Tampa Bay this year.
I disagree completely.
They're going to be throwing the ball.
I disagree. Florida Man Sports, I disagree completely on that. I want to go on record on
that. Still, I mean, ultimately, you want to sit here and say that that Baker, if you're okay with just being there, you don't really see him. This is the best offense he's ever had. So if he just reaches it, then I think Josh fell off. I think ultimately, Josh Grizzard is going to go ahead and exceed.
For those of you that don't know about Josh Grizzard, the guy's been around in the NFL. He was actually talking about Miami earlier. He was one of the Miami he was a quarterbacks coach in Miami and would work with wide receivers as well. So he's very well tenured. He's very well capable. The years that he was there, they were top 5 offense. Yeah, he wasn't the offensive coach, but they were top 5 offense. So the fact that you're like, oh, if it's not, no, stop. He's a good coach, and everybody that talks about him talks about his football IQ. So he's the right man for the job.
I don't care if he's a good coach.
He's the right man for the job. The question is, can Baker Mayfield replicate again for year 3? That's what we want to see. Can he replicate?
If he does not replicate or exceed, you're saying, oh yeah, the offensive coordinator has no responsibility, no accountability.
I didn't say that either. What I'm saying is that it's not all on his shoulders, and I'll be happy with 4,000 plus yards, and I'll be happy with 30 plus touchdowns because that'll be enough to get into playoffs.
If you don't
that was like the third mic drop.
If you don't get 4,000 yards, 30 plus touchdowns with this offense, with every weapon given to you, then it's going to fall obviously on the offensive coordinator or Baker himself. So it's one of those two things there. That being said, right now, Chris, Baker, I mean, he's up. Should they wait until the end of the season for extension?
That's a better question. I'll take that question all day. Florida Man Sports, streaming on all major platforms.
Give me better answers.
Finally, you got a good question here. Now, look, this is what I will say. Oh, real reminder too that we are. If you're watching right now, that obviously we're not live, so please don't be sending questions. You know who you are. You text us live the last few times, so please don't do that. We are not live right now. Again, we are pre-recorded. No, man. Should they pay him? To me, it's very simple. Yes, and get it done. Get it done right now. He has done enough for me to warrant the money that they're going to pay him. What's the exception? You guys win playoff games or make to the playoffs, win a couple playoff games, you're still paying the max money that you're expected to pay. There's no difference.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
There's no difference.
Exactly. So it's just nonsense what you just said right now.
What are you talking about? Pay him.
What has he done? I mean, I'm a fan of Baker. I'm a fan of Tampa.
Okay, stop. I'm going to answer. Let me answer. If you're asking a question, let me answer.
Sure.
What has Lawrence done? What has Dak Prescott done? No, stop. What is that? What has Kirk Cousins done?
Every argument you've ever had with your wife, that's the response here. You ask a question and they answer another question.
It's college 101, a question with a question.
Nobody's referencing
I like how you didn't
Trevor Lawrence or anything else there. I will answer it. Okay. He hasn't done anything. So I get it. So when you at the end of the day, when it comes to Baker Mayfield, there's a risk reward. There's no point in paying him now. There's no point. We'll have him go out the whole season, see what happens here, because crazy things happen. We just saw an injury. Injuries can happen. Crazy things can happen. You can pull Drew Brees type situation. It could be a Dante Culpepper situation.
Okay.
All these things happen there. So whether you pay him now or at the end of the year, Chris, the money's not going to change.
It's nonsense.
So why are you going to go ahead and pay him now for a guy? What is it? You won your playoff game? Hey, respect. I get it. I get that. But he hasn't brought you to the NFC Championship. He's not knocking on the door of the Super Bowl. He has the capacity to do so, but he hasn't done it yet. So why are you going to go ahead and no, we need to pay him right now? No, you don't. It's not going to be more expensive, Chris, whether it's now or that. If it is a few dollars more, not a big deal. So the risk reward, you kind of figuring out, okay, things can happen. Let me see what you can do, guys. Show me. You have the best offense you've ever had in your entire career this upcoming year. Let me see what you do with it. Perform, much like Joe Flacco did when the owner went to him and said, show me something, and he became the highest paid quarterback at that time when he took the team to the Super Bowl and won it. So the same thing, challenge to you, Baker. Show me what you can do with the best offense you've ever had. If he does nothing, then it clearly has to fall on either the offensive coordinator or on Baker himself.
If you're tuning in right now, you're in for some fun stuff. All right. So let's be very clear here. Number one, it is ridiculous. And you like to rant, but that was just ridiculous. Listen, folks,
okay,
we know the way the structure works. We know that somebody like Kirk Cousins, who has done absolutely nothing, that's somebody who has done absolutely nothing, by the way, tore his Achilles and still got I'm getting there. John, excuse me, sir, like you always say, you got your turn. Okay. He got $150 million by the Falcons after hurting himself. So there goes that argument out the window.
Hands out his pocket.
Talking about Baker Mayfield. Here. That argument just went doo-doo. Number two, the idea of paying him now is so that you don't have to pay him the max money, which means the savings is right now.
Max, not the max.
Yes, there's two different. Yes, we're talking about. We're talking about actually a 30. If you actually do the numbers, you're talking about a $30 to $35 million difference, and all that Baker Mayfield has to do. It's a $35 million difference, and all Baker Mayfield has to do is go to the playoffs and win a game. He's already done that. So then you go back to the people that I named when he's accusing me of naming people, the Prescotts of the world, the Trevor Lawrence, the Jaguars. We love the Jaguars, but the Trevor Lawrence of the world who have not done anything, and they're getting $50 million. So again, I'm going to stand by what I said because it's economically, it makes sense. It's smart. You know what you're going to do regardless. He literally said, you're going to do it anyway. Just do it later. No, it's not like you're paying him this year. This year's already done. The number's already done. You can sign him. You can sign the contract before the season starts, and you're not paying him until those years, right? That's the way that works. So get it done. Save yourself the $30-40 million, and it's literally what it is.
Okay.
And that's the smart move, because all he's going to have to do, which I expect the Bucs to do, is get into the playoffs, and hopefully this year we're going to do some damage, and you're going to end up playing max money.
There's no big name quarterbacks left that are going to sign and adjust the market. The market's in place right now as a quarterback position. So nothing's going to change. Brock got paid. All these Lawrence got paid the year before. All these guys got paid. So the quarterback position, there's no one really left to get paid. The next guy up, it will be possibly Baker. So if you're going to go ahead and do it now or later, nothing's going to change. So what I'm saying is risk reward. Does Baker deserve a max contract? Yes. I'm not hating on him there. I'm not completely. Right. It's like I said, like, okay, well, what have you done? You haven't done enough for me to give it to you right now. It's like, because nothing's really going to change in terms of like the conglomerate that is Tampa or the NFL.
Yeah, 2 NFC South championships isn't enough. Winning playoff games isn't enough.
Okay. NFC. Right. Okay.
That's
okay.
Good.
Let's calm down. Okay. Let's calm down. And
all right, man.
If you're talking about playoff victories, is one. What I'm saying is that from a business perspective, there's no point in going and paying him now or at the end of the season, depending on what he does here, because nothing's going to change financially, really. It's really not. You're focusing on a couple of dollars from the bigger spectrum. For guys like me and you, looking at $30 million, oh my God, over the course of 4 or 5 years, it's a big deal. But it's not for the NFL. You're talking about
clearly, you're money bags and you don't care about it. But listen, we're talking about the difference between paying Trevor Lawrence $50 million a year contract versus paying $60 million. It is actually. And so you're talking about a $10 million swing times 4 years. That's $40 million, which I was right on my numbers. That doesn't include all the cap penalties that you pay on top of that. That's the way that works, Johnny. And so again, sign him now, save the $40+ million, or
you can go ahead and sign him now. And they go 3 and like they win 3 games next year.
It can happen.
Or he has an abysmal year. Or worst case scenario, he gets injured. Baker Mayfield's not going anywhere. Yeah, you don't have a risk of losing him in the free agency going anywhere.
I think I did enough to change your mind. Can you just, in front of the folks here, Florida Man Sports, can you admit and say, Christian, you know what? I think we need to sign him now. Can you say that?
No, because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to go ahead and quickly sign him now.
I'm done. Okay.
Like I said, there's no other big name quarterbacks change. Like they move the needle and figure it out. There's nobody really left to go ahead and do that.
Kyler Murray. I'm just kidding. He already got paid. Got paid.
So ultimately, it doesn't make sense. It's risk reward. You're figuring things out here. We watched enough football over our lifetime to see terrible injuries, things happen to where it's kind of like, oh my God, they just paid this guy. So it's not necessary. Now Baker go ahead and pulls a Joe Flacco like he did with the Ravens and really carries this team into multiple playoff victories and even the Super Bowl, and go ahead and pay him the dollars that he deserves. But until he proves that, or if you're going to wait it out there and go ahead and pay him, there's not a lot of free agency. Not in that position. There's not a lot of quality players available. So they're going to pay Baker but it doesn't make sense. It's not necessary. We talked about this with Jacksonville.
I didn't say it's necessary. I said it's the smarter move.
Now,
you're going to pay him the top dollars anyway. You know that you are.
Look, exactly.
Jason Light, you know that you are. You might as well do it now. Make him comfortable because he's going to be a Buck for the next 4 years and be done with it.
You look at what happened with Trevor Lawrence. You mentioned him. You threw it in my face here.
Yeah.
They paid him early when they didn't need to.
But this is not early, Johnny. See, I'm sorry I'm not trying to interrupt here, but this is not early.
Really
he's already actually no, I've been very reserved.
This is your reserve?
On the takes that we broke up, I interrupted you. Nobody knows. But no. So this is different. Trevor Lawrence didn't win anything. Okay, we're talking about, and I know that NFC South or championships or division titles are not a big deal, but besides the fact that you've actually been in the playoffs, had a playoff run, won playoff games, almost beat the Lions in the playoffs. Don't think I forgot, Chris. So all that stuff has happened. Trevor Lawrence didn't do any of that. So when you talk about Baker Mayfield, you can't talk about Trevor Lawrence in the same sentence.
You can.
No, you can't.
You can. I'm about to right now.
No, you can't.
Because one, I get it because you're a Tampa Bay lifer and you love them so much.
I love Jacksonville. I love Miami. Let's go.
But you go ahead and you want to give credit to almost winning a game. Okay, you're going almost win a game. Okay,
I said winning a playoff game.
Yeah, you almost beat the Lions.
Almost beating the Lions.
You can't give credit for
just like we almost beat the Rams. Brady's second Super Bowl. We almost beat the Rams. So I just call words.
And the fact that you want to go ahead and sit here and say you can't compare. Trevor Lawrence has one playoff victory. Baker Mayfield has one playoff victory with Tampa. So are you going to sit here and be like, oh, my God, no, Trevor won a playoff game, and he still didn't deserve that extension. They did it too soon. Baker won a playoff game and still didn't deserve. You guys are Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That is the first half a point you try to make.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a Super Bowl winning franchise. I'm sorry. Now, all of a sudden, we are happy. I guess your fans are happy with we won a playoff game 2 years ago. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. You should have won the game against the Commanders, and you did not. So this coming year, you guys improved greatly your offense. Didn't do much on defense. So I don't want to hear excuses.
Like if you're not part of it, this is Florida Man Sports.
Now I want to see what Tampa can do. And it's not necessary to go and pay Baker right now. It's not necessary because the dollars and cents don't really matter in the long scheme of things here. Let's see what you can do. If you do it, pull up Joe Flacco and get paid, or you don't, you're still going to get paid, but I mean, it's not necessary to give him the max dollars. You can save yourself.
If and when Baker Mayfield gets paid this offseason, which I would love to see because it's well-deserved. I don't care what he says. Maybe then finally Johnny will have some flowers to give once and for all.
Anyway, you can say what you want to say here, but moving on to our final Florida team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, Chris. Now, the executives there were quoted around as saying that they don't need a Watt or a Hendrickson. There's key players that are still floating around there. And Jacksonville is obviously on complete rebuild mode on their front office and their coaching. So is that the right move for them to not even consider somebody like Watt or Hendrickson? Or is this just Jacksonville Jaguars being cheap?
No, it's not being cheap, man. It's the right move. It's the right call. You got to be realistic with who you are and what you are as a team. And Jag fans, Duval, are we winning a Super Bowl this year? No, we're not. I would love to, but it's not going to happen, right? And so let's be real. Both players are 30 years old. They don't even fit the nucleus of what the GM says he's trying to build. The Gladstone talking about people that make them better just for who they are. It doesn't fit that dynamic for the age group because they're a young team. No matter how you look at it, it's not the right move. So why would you do that? Get yourself more cap strung for the following season with more dead cap. There's no way. I thought about that. There's no way where this makes sense. And it actually, Johnny, to my point that I was making a couple weeks ago when you ridiculed me, I think that 4 wins, more wins than last year is an improvement in the right direction. And it sounds like the Jaguars are listening to Florida Man Sports, listening to me, and they're thinking the same thing. They want small progressive growth to build a consistent winner. And that's why they don't need them. And that's why the point makes sense.
Jaguars are going to have more wins than Tampa Bay this upcoming year.
Oh my God.
So you want to sit here and you want to sit here and pat yourself on the back so hard for the NFC South victories.
That was good.
The NFC South.
Jags are going to have more wins than the Bucs.
Thank God Tampa's in the NFC South. But Jacksonville's defense, they were towards the bottom of the league last year, their defense.
I love how that wasn't the question. How about you answer the question?
I am. That's why I brought up the question, like, to the fact that, like, these are key defensive players. You have a team that was ranked towards the bottom of all defensive stats there in total defense. So why wouldn't you even consider it? But it makes sense for them because honestly, there's players involved, players on his team. Travis Hunter starting with him. You want to sit here and hate on this kid. This kid is going to perform this year. Like, just looking at everything here, I still have Hunter 3 to 4 picks, over 10 pass deflections this upcoming year on defense, not to count anything he does on offense there. I have faith in Josh Hines that he's going to be leading the charge. He's a great pass rusher. He's going to do everything he needs to do with Jacksonville. So Jacksonville's defense is going to be surprised a lot of people, not me, but this defense is going to surprise a lot of people. Trayvon Waker, who is going to have 12, 14 sacks. I'm telling you right now, he's going to go ahead and do everything that we need to do. Jacksonville Jaguars.
We need to do.
Jacksonville, yeah, because you quoted me earlier. So Jacksonville Jaguars. Wow, okay. Yes, you're not going to give up the farm for these guys. These guys are going to go ahead. I'm getting tired of Jacksonville now making the moves that they need to do to go ahead and improve whatever they need to improve. But I get it. For them, their defense is good. They revamped everything, including their coordinators, obviously, their coach, their front office there. The key players are in place. They're going to go ahead and surprise a lot of people defensively and offensively, but more so defensively. So that's why I think Jacksonville is going to have a better season than Tampa. They can push and honestly be the top Florida team this upcoming offseason in the National Football League. So it would not surprise me at all if Jacksonville go ahead and just puts a stunner and really shakes things up here, and they see Jacksonville in the playoffs and Tampa out of it.
Florida Man Sports streaming on all major platforms. For those of you that are still tuned in after that rant, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. Notice, though, that the question wasn't who was going to be better, this and that. Obviously, I got into Johnny's skinnies and his feels. The question was, is Watt or Hendrickson an option? Should they be an option for the Jaguars? So I'll ask you again, Johnny, because I don't know where you were going there. So I guess what you're saying, because they're going to have a better season, that they should get them? Is that what you're saying? They should go for one of them?
That's not what I said.
I don't know. I'm so confused.
What are you talking about?
So should they or not?
I said Jacksonville in general, normally.
Okay.
They don't want to spend the money. They're not going to go ahead and go after premier talent like that.
Okay, so they're not. They shouldn't.
You're not going to give up the farm for what you said, 30-year-old. They're still.
So your point is that they shouldn't, but they're still going to win games. I got you.
Yeah, because I mentioned the players that are in place. Defensively, I'm not worried about Jacksonville. Jacksonville is going to surprise a lot of people defensively. Offensively as well, but more so defensively here. So while they were towards the bottom last year, honestly, you can see them moving on up like the Jeffersons. They're going to do their thing, and you will see, sir, Jacksonville.
Wow.
Jacksonville's going to have a better team than Tampa this upcoming year. They're going to go – them and Miami back and forth. Miami is a crapshoot. Miami is going to be feast or famine. Miami is going to ball out or be an abysmal failure. But Jacksonville is going to be consistent. Jacksonville is always going to the playoffs. I'm calling it right now.
Well, folks, as always, if you've watched episodes in the last couple of years now, you know that when Johnny says something, the exact opposite happens. So I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to the season. And again, I want to remind everybody that we are going to be streaming live starting next week after this guy messed up the episode. Anything else, Johnny Cinco?
Enjoy the movie, buddy. Enjoy it, like that, I know you're a big fan. I know that.
So. He's Johnny. I'm Christian. We're out, y'all.
Later.